Am I the a-hole stories? Update: Am I the a-hole for turning my partner's mother away? Original post. Context: I, 32 female, own my home. I started dating someone, 35 male, around 18 months ago, and his earnings were impacted by the pandemic, so he asked to move in with me. I wasn't 100% comfortable, but I agreed, and it's been going fairly well. I haven't been able to get to know my partner's family the way I would if things had been organic. We met a few times and I've spoken to them via video call. They seem pleasant. Unlike him, I've been able to work from home for the past year, and the toll it took was that I gained weight. It's not a big problem, but I bought some equipment and committed to working out at lunchtime 3 times a week. Yesterday, I had an unexpected knock at the door around lunchtime. It was my boyfriend's mother. She said she was in the area and decided to come for lunch so we could get to know each other better. I told her I had plans, working out then showering, but that if she wanted to arrange something in advance another day, I'd really like to spend some time with her. She seemed a bit shocked, but she left without incident. When my SO got back from work, he erupted the second he got through the door. His position is that his family are welcome anytime in his home whether he's there or not. He is not prepared to budge on that. My position is that if someone turns up unannounced, they don't get to be offended when someone doesn't invite them in. As I'm free to be honest here, I do not consider this his home. Our agreement is that he pays for half of the bills, energy, internet, water, etc., but the mortgage is mine. It's my home. He's here because he couldn't make rent, and ultimately, if I don't like unannounced visits, then they don't happen. He's been calling me a narcissist and saying that I'm on a power trip, etc., whereas I think I'm enforcing a perfectly sensible boundary. Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, you gave him an inch, letting him move in when you weren't 100% okay with it. He's trying to take a mile. This is my house and this is what I expect of you. Here's your stuff, mate. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. This is the perfect description. I gave him a place to stay and he's taking my house as his very own. He's currently sat upstairs in the bedroom stewing about it a day later, and he's only coming down to get food and drinks and make a big thing of banging around. It's pretty horrible and it is making me feel really awkward. The devil in me wants to go up there and tell him that he doesn't get to do that, but I've had enough of being called a selfish narcissist, power tripper blah blah for now. The more the comments come in, the more feisty I'm feeling about it though. You know, you're right. Your family should be welcome anytime in your home. So, I think the best thing to do is for you to go find your own home now, and that way you can welcome your family there anytime they and you want. Not the a-hole OP. Not the a-hole, this type of arguing would be deal breaker for me. He doesn't get to dictate that his family is allowed to come over when he's not home and expect you to entertain them. Getting called narcissist? I'm an only child and didn't spend much time with my parents when I was young. He sees this as me having a broken idea of what it means to be part of a family, and claims that I've never learned to care about or think of anyone except myself. I have a really good relationship with, and contribute to the well-being of, my mother, who happens to have some mental health issues, so I don't think that the "looks pretty messed up on paper" take really applies. This comment is a very long-winded way of saying that I really don't appreciate him claiming I'm a narcissist. Not the a-hole, if he doesn't like it, I guess he could go and live somewhere where it's just his opinion that counts. I think that part of why I feel like I may be the a-hole is that this is exactly how I feel. It's my house. And now for the update. First of all, thank you to everyone who took the time to comment on my post. It was overwhelming but amazing. I took everyone's points on board and initially decided to speak to a solicitor before acting. It was a nice idea but it didn't last. I mentioned previously that he had been storming around my house and not speaking to me since everything happened with his mom, and unfortunately, it all came to a head when he came downstairs for some food and broke a glass. Accidents happen, but he was on day 3 of a tantrum when he smashed a tumbler, which was part of the set I bought to celebrate buying my home. It was the final straw. I walked into the kitchen when I heard the noise, saw what he'd broken. And the look on my face must have said it all because he immediately started apologizing and babbling about how he hates it when we fight and wants things to go back to how they were. Just to confirm, he had holed up in the spare room and made a point of banging around the house like a child for 3 days at this point. Long story short, in the spur of the moment I told him to get the hell out. It was around 9 p.m, so not an ideal time, but for whatever reason, the anger right then was more extreme than anything I've ever felt. I won't go into too much detail, but it was a big screaming argument and he did not leave willingly. Obviously, He went straight to his mom's house, and as far as I know, he's been there since. Now he's gone. I couldn't be happier. I was uncomfortable with the situation from the second he brought his stuff here, and I have not felt sad for even a second since he left. I spent the best part of a year tolerating him, and I had no idea how much it had worn me down until he left. His sister sent me a really lovely and understanding message when we arranged for her to collect the rest of his things, and his mom sent me a weird rant about how I'm a selfish witch who will never manage to keep a man if I carry on like this. I sent a very nasty response to the mom about her parenting skills, and the sister and I are planning on having an afternoon on the wine together as soon as things open up. Everything worked out perfectly for me, and I wrote this update whilst I waited for my Indian takeaway to arrive. He hated Indian food, and drank a nice glass of red wine. He prefers beer, so somehow that was all I used to buy. Cheers all, your validation really was the turning point. After my sister left her abusive boyfriend, she was like a completely different person. Your experience and the sudden change it brought to your mood sounds similar. It's scary how we can be completely unaware of the things in life that are making us miserable until they're gone. I'm glad yours is gone. I can't even begin to describe the relief when my ex-husband finally moved out. Getting rid of all the stuff he hoarded was amazing. Having the energy to actually meet friends again, indescribable. I'm so happy OP left that a-hole. They really do wear us down. Congratulations. AITA rarely has content that just makes you want to say hell yeah girl, but this is it. Especially love the bit about wine with the sister who clearly knows what's up with him. He and his mom deserve each other. Yeah, totally. Some folks, I look at their parents and have no idea how they're all connected. But other families, I haven't even gotten through the door yet and I see exactly where the kids came from. This story is definitely one of the latter. I see where the ex-partner gets it from. I'm very glad you made the decision to move on. It's a damn shame it got to the point it didn't cause you so much distress. Enjoy your life, and I hope you find the one who makes you deliriously happy. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for throwing my sister-in-law infertility in her and her husband's face? My 26 female, sister-in-law 30 female is infertile. It's literally her whole personality and she in my opinion uses it to control us. I'll give you guys some context. She cried loudly all day at my wedding because we'd be having kids soon. She literally made sure she got more attention than me. Threw a full-on tantrum the whole way through all my brother-in-law's wedding events, because she wanted his bride to disinvite her pregnant twin sister. None of us are allowed make pregnancy, birth announcements. No newborn or pregnancy pics till she feels ready. No babies or pregnant women are allowed at family events or at my in-laws, or no mention of said baby/pregnancy. Apparently you can't have PPD, because people can't have kids. Honestly, I freaking can't take it anymore. I had to hide my pregnancy last year and tiptoe around her feelings. When I finally gave birth via emergency C-section, I was in hospital for a week. In that week, my father, who lives in a different country, died of a heart attack. Over restrictions, I wasn't allowed visitors, but my sister-in-law and mother-in-law made sure to scream down the phone, because my sister posted a picture of my dad's last pic, which was him FaceTiming my son. We cut contact till December and everything was okay, till today. I went live on Facebook because my daughter, 4, was teaching my son to say mama, and he finally said mama but kept giving my husband dirty looks when he'd ask him to say dad. I realized the minute the nasty comments, phone calls and texts started coming, that I made a mistake. But at this stage, screw her and we just blocked them. My sister-in-law, her husband and mother-in-law, showed up at my house screaming about how insensitive I am, that I knew it would trigger her, etc. I was trying to calm everyone down till her husband called my kids crotch goblins. So, I looked her straight in the eye and told her I don't give a flying F she's infertile, that's her problem not mine. Then I told her husband he probably can't have kids because he's a little bee that can afford IVF. I slammed the door in their face, then my shocked husband told me he'd put the kids to bed and drink some wine. I've gotten so many messages from my in-laws, friends, and cousins that I'm starting to think I went a bit too far. Now for the top comments before reading the little update. I really want to say everyone sucks here because your comment was cruel, but after everything you've been put through for years, they had it coming. I'm infertile. I would love to be able to have children, but I've never tried to control what the rest of the family does, so they have to cater to me. Not the a-hole. Beautifully said. I agree, the sister-in-law's reaction is pathological at this point. I hope you get to grow your family in whatever way works best for your heart. Imagine thinking yourself so important that you demand a ban on the natural cycle of life. These people showed up on your doorstep to yell at you? Good for you, not the a-hole. Yeah, they violated Don't Start None Won't Be None. OP just finished it, hard and cold. I'm sorry they're infertile. I'm sorry they're such a-holes about it. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. I don't understand the ESH judgments at all. They showed up at your house to berate you for having a life and sharing it on social media. That is literally what social media is for. It's in the name. If it bothers her that other people have children, she needs to delete her Facebook and stay off all social media. This was my feelings too. OP has gone above and beyond for literal years, catering and being sensitive to her sister-in-law. If seeing OP's kids on her social media profiles are that much of an issue for sister-in-law, then she is completely capable of blocking OP herself. It would have taken approximately 5 seconds to accomplish. Now for the update. A few things have happened. In the last few hours, my sis-in-law and brother-in-law showed up at 5 a.m. screaming and banging on my windows. They did some damage to my car and broke 2 windows trying to get in, along with destroying my daughter's swing set. We called the police and they both got arrested. We have cameras. My brother-in-law, his wife, and strangely father-in-law, want us to press charges and we plan to. We also plan on cutting contact and getting a restraining order. We are currently at my brother-in-law's on the advice of Phil. I've documented any calls or messages I've gotten from her friends/in-laws. She will be completely cut off, so will mother-in-law, so we can enjoy our kids growing up. Thanks everyone. I've a killer hangover, so I'm gonna get some sleep. Edit 2. A lot have asked for the gender reveal story, so here it is. My brother-in-law's wife Rose decided to have a secret gender reveal with just close family and friends so sister-in-law wouldn't find out. The party was beautiful, but about 20 minutes after they popped the gender reveal balloons, sister-in-law comes screaming into her house like a banshee. Think someone posted the reveal on Facebook, screaming at Rose. Her husband doing the same to brother-in-law, so Rose started screaming back. Sister-in-law attacked Rose, and her husband knocked 2 tables over, one of which had the beautiful cake. Long story short, Rose's sister gave sister-in-law her just desserts, and sister-in-law's husband got a face full of cake. To make it worse, sister-in-law called the police, trying to get Rose and Bill arrested, forgetting multiple people were there recording her. Mother-in-law tried to get involved, but Rose told her screw off. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not letting SO's aunt see our baby? After 3 years together, we found out I was pregnant, and I knew SO's aunt would be over the top with it as she's been asking for kids since 1 year in. As expected, SO's aunt insisted we had to have a gender reveal and baby shower, but she sulked when I wouldn't let her know the gender before the event, and got drunk at the reveal complaining to everyone about how we wouldn't let her know first after she put everything together and we didn't appreciate her. She kept insisting that she be the godmother when she knew it was my friend. She tried to get other people to agree with her and did the same thing at the baby shower. We've now welcomed a boy. In the hospital we FaceTimed mother-in-law, my dad, then whilst on with my mum, his aunt started calling. SO answered and explained we would call back, but she flipped. Why hadn't we told her I'd gone into labor? Why did she find out he was born through mother-in-law? I told my mum I would call her back because I could see my partner struggling. We FaceTimed the aunt and talk about the delivery, say we'll come round soon, and I made it clear not to post on social media yet, that he was here because I still had family I needed to tell. About 2 hours later, we'd spoken to all of SO's family. We get in, I check my phone and there was loads of notifications and messages. His aunt had posted screenshots of the FaceTime with a welcoming post to her great-nephew and godson. I was furious. She'd announced his name, weight and details on delivery. All of my family, friends and the real godmother had seen it. I was gutted. I called my family to apologize. SO spoke to his aunt who wouldn't take it down because it was already done, and said we'd had enough time to tell everyone. Mother-in-law just said, you know what she's like. We've been to mother-in-law a few times, and the aunt flipped that we didn't invite her. I said she'd have to wait 2 weeks as we'll be going to see my family. She's furious with me and said I'm out of line. We spoke on the phone again, and she said she's sorry for posting, but I hadn't been specific enough, and when I told her I was specific about not being godmother, she went quiet. She asked if I was being serious, and I again said I had picked my friend. Well, she lost it all over again, saying I was cruel and unfair, so I put the phone down. The whole of his family is now involved and said she apologized, so I should just let her see him since she lives close. SO says I'm making him choose between me and his family. I said if it had happened to them, they would have reacted worse, and he didn't respond. Mother-in-law came round and said I need to apologize to his aunt and let her see the baby. We're due to go see my family tomorrow, but this morning he asked if I'd be willing to change one of the two girlfriends to make his aunt a godmother. We argued. I'm still mad at what she did, and feel she's turned a lot of the family against me by saying I'm manipulative and talking about me badly. Am I the a-hole for making her wait? Should I apologize and just go round there? Not the a-hole. Please keep that baby away from this lunatic. Time for OP to deliver a long overdue lesson to SO's family on what boundaries are and how to enforce them. To SO specifically. It's him that opened his mouth today and asked OP to make crazy aunt a godparent after all this nonsense. I'd be livid with him more than anyone else for not having my back. Not the a-hole, but your SO needs to step up and figure some stuff out. This, for me, was the biggest issue. SO says I'm making him choose between me and his family. You have a child together. You're his family. You and that baby boy are his immediate family now, and everyone else just became extended family. If your SO won't step up and be a real partner on this, y'all need to get into some counseling to give him a perspective that doesn't come from his mommy and her weirdly obsessed sister. This. Not the a-hole to the max, but it's disturbing that he doesn't find the need to respect you, the love of his life and mother of his child, and your boundaries as a priority over his aunt's feelings. Not the a-hole. Tell your guy that you're already compromising by not going full no contact with her, after she pushed your boundaries throughout the pregnancy, broke the news with a bad FaceTime pic, lied about being godmother, and is now harassing you via family about visiting before your own family. Draw big firm boundaries for her. She can see the baby when she has posted an apology on the same platform. She broke the news on saying she didn't have permission to post, she isn't the godmother, and she is sorry for causing drama. Yes. Public apology first for what she did. Otherwise she'll do it again. Not to mention she's an aunt, not a grandmother, therefore she can wait her turn until your family has seen him. Your SO needs a wake-up call. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.